Global Times, 17th of October 2022, China says that the EU and China are partners, not rivals, and cooperation is far greater than competition. A spokesman for China's foreign ministry, Wang Wenbin, said on Monday that the two countries are partners, not enemies. They have strong economic ties and strong complementarities and work together more than they compete. Wang, the Chinese foreign minister, said this in answer to a reporter's question about whether the EU's Foreign Policy Office could tell member states to depend less on Chinese supply chains. Both globalization and the global supply chain are critical to China's communist government and its people's jobs. China will fall apart without globalization. Wang said that the growth and formation of global industry and supply chains are a result of both market laws and corporate decisions. He also noted that political restrictions don't necessarily hurt international cooperation and make industry and supply chains less stable, which isn't good for economic growth and isn't in anyone's best interest. Wang talked about what Josep Borrell Fontanelles, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, said at the EU Ambassadors' Annual Conference 2022 in Brussels. He said, "Low-paid Chinese workers have done much more to keep inflation in check than all the central banks put together." From heating products like heat pumps and electric rugs to clothing items like turtleneck sweaters, Chinese goods are cheap and of poor quality. However, they have become an essential and timely choice for European countries struggling to deal with a severe fuel shortage and high inflation. Yiwu, which is in East China's Zhejiang province and is the world's biggest wholesale market for small goods, exported 190 million yuan, $26.5 million, worth of heating equipment like air conditioners and electric blankets in the first 8 months of this year. This is 41.6% more than last year, according to data from Yiwu Customs given to the Global Times. China and EU countries have grown into essential business partners. Their economies are very similar, as shown by the large trade they have with each other. China's trade surpassed $800 billion for the first time last year, and it has stayed strong this year despite the pandemic, inflation, and political disputes. It takes a long time and costs a lot to ship less than 50 to 100 containers per trip on the Chinese train line to Europe. A container ship can quickly move between 4,000 and 10,000 containers over water for a low cost. The freight train between China and Europe is the primary way that goods are shipped between the two countries. It has become a strong link between factories in China and shops in Europe. Even though there are problems and worries worldwide, 12,000 cross-border cargo trains have run this year, which is 7% more than last year. China Railway statistics showed that 1.18 million standard containers were removed, which is an increase of 8%. Some Western leaders have been talking about reducing their reliance on China for a while now, but they are now putting their words into action. This worries China because it depends on globalization and export markets for everything. The European Commission updated its industrial strategy in May 2021. It included plans to make key areas less reliant on China and other foreign suppliers. Wang said that China hoped that the EU would see cooperation between China and the EU in a positive light, which would help China's interests and keep the global industry supply chain stable. Europe should cut ties with China because China has been violent toward Lithuania for speaking out about human rights. The European Union doesn't want to be blackmailed in this way.